All women are oppressed by patriarchy, but we are not all oppressed in the same way. And you're already miles ahead of where I've been for most of my life, because I'm not like a good white lady exception. I just wasn't a feminist at all and didn't learn this until later in life when I was already researching class, race, and gender dynamics. So I just kind of learned it all at once. By the time I got to that point, a lot of my mentors were women of color. So it was all enmeshed. So let me share how this helped me understand it. And I outlined this in the article that this slide deck is about. But just because this is important, I'll reiterate it here. You clearly already understand how patriarchy works if you understand misogyny. You understand that it is a system, that it has, it's an idea that has influenced institutions and policies to make it harder for women, even if we make great individual decisions. You know, the laws have been shaped, the policies have been shaped for men. There is another idea that interacts with patriarchy, and that is the idea of white supremacy, the fallacy of white supremacy. And where those two connect, patriarchy and white supremacy, is the idea of dominance. That you have to dominate something, that you have to dominate women to be a man, and that as a white person you have the right to dominate non-white bodies. So women of color have this double whammy, and white women can still have that dominating over women of color. Not to the same extent. We don't have the same levels of power as white men, but we still have more powers in this system than women of color. And throughout history, we as in white women, obviously I haven't been alive for like 200 years, so I'm just saying like white women. White women have, particularly wealthy white women, have sought rights for themselves that women of color have supported, and then those rights have not been bestowed among women of color. So for example, white women got the right to vote in 1920, but black women didn't until 1965. There are white women who were abolitionists and fought for abolition back in the day, but they were few and far between compared to the white women who saw particularly black women as just their property and the only thing that they really had control over. Does that mean patriarchy wasn't an influence there? No. But does it mean the same experience of being, oh, the only thing I can own as another person is the same as being that other person? No. And that has trickled down throughout the past 100-some years. And I get the whole divide versus conquering thing, but I've written about this with class in particular when people tell me like, there's only two classes, ruling versus working class. Even millionaires are working class. Like, do not conflate the experience of a millionaire with someone homeless. And I feel like it's a similar of people who have more privilege, even if they're not in the billionaire class, have to acknowledge their privilege and work towards a solution and not just put it all on the most oppressed. So it's not splintering or misogynistic to right or wrong. It's part of growth.